Viewer discretion is fucking advised. The show wasn't created for anyone who may need a secured safe spot.
This show may contain the following: colorful language, sexual language, graphic language, language on implied nudity.
You've been fucking warned.
That means no snitches, tattletales, no crybabies, no, I'm offended.
And absolutely no bullshit is tolerated past this point!
That means don't be a whiny little bitch.
This is Paranormal Thursday.
You're on Elm Street. You don't want me anymore, that's what you said from before. But this twisted melody has brought a few friends.
This is the Paranormal Chef on Paranormal Thursday.
Be echoing in your head.
Jeff fucking James.
The ruins of the life you thought you led. Yeah, you thought you'd won, but the games you wanted to play have just begun.
Oh, Mr. Voorhees, there you are. You can come out of the water now.
What? Oh, I think you went that way.
Don't forget your machete. Only on Outlaw Radio Nation.
I'm the plot twist, baby, to your marital fantasy. The shattered fragments screaming that you'd like to left it behind. Wake up, darling, now the whole world gets to see. Dragging through the shaking door, solid ground. You thought you owned the dark before. Now I'm crushing your hand, one finger at a time.
Prepare to be spooked in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Shut your fucking pie hole!
It's a Thursday, Scott looks tired, kinda like me. Coffee wrinkles on a desk that never sleeps. Same hallway, same flicker in the ceiling. But your name in my phone got the whole world tilting. It's Thursday, paranormal, you haunt me. After normal, all work day's done, but you're still there in every empty office chair. It's Thursday, paranormal, my heart goes out of formal. Clock hits 6, I lose control. You show up like you own my soul. Text you up in the bright light of midday. I laugh too loud like I got nothing to hide. Our chats a seance, little secrets in a thread. Typing dots, dancing like the raising the dead. It's Thursday, paranormal, you haunt me. After normal, work day's done, but you're still there in every empty office chair. It's Thursday, paranormal, my heart goes out of formal. Clock hits 6, I lose control. You show up like you own my soul. You own my soul. Every week, same time, same spell. Yeah.
Welcome to Thursday Paranormal, Matt.
Hi, Jeff. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little nervous today.
I am too.
We're talking to a big guy today. It's unbelievable.
Yes, it is unbelievable. This will be my second time talking to Corey Goode. The first time was fantastic. So much stuff, man. So excited about today. You're exactly right. It's going to be a good show. Fingers crossed. Everything
I
goes
am.
perfectly.
I am.
All right. All right, so welcome to Thursday Paranormal with the interview with Secret Space Program whistleblower Corey Goode. You heard 51 Boneyard kick us off. We also have Vintage Blonde playing today. Also, we're going to play Carl Rango from Italy with the song Gloria. I threw that one in for today because I know we're going to have some extra time. So you ready to get spooky?
Ready.
All right, here we go. So I put some stuff together for Strange News. Wanted to see if I could shock you with some of these. But first couple are kind of middle of the road, not too shocking. But here we go. Alien abduction. Let me say that one more time. Alien abduction phenomenon involve reports of individuals being kidnapped by extraterrestrial beings, often experiencing missing time, physical examinations, and psychological trauma. Common encounters include with gray beings, telepathic communication, medical procedures such as the famous cases of Betty and Barney Hill in 1961. Have you heard about this one, Matt?
Yes, that's like the Grand Poobah, the first one that's on record
The
of
Grand
abduction.
Very cool. All right, well, Barney and Betty Hill were an American couple and civil rights activists who claimed they were abducted by extraterrestrials in a rural portion of the state of New Hampshire from September 19th to September 20th of 1961. The incident came to be called the Hill abduction and the Zeta Reticuli incident because two ufologists connected the star map allegedly shown to Betty Hill with the Zeta Reticuli system. Their story was adapted into the best-selling 1966 book, The Interrupted Journey, and NBC's 1975 television film, The UFO Incident. So yeah, Matt, you're exactly right. It's the grand poobah of them all.
Yep.
And, go ahead.
It's insane. It's kind of like the first one that each couple said exactly what happened to him verbatim, and it was a couple's abduction, not just a single. So it's just something out there that's really, really cool and really, really kind of scary at the same time because they both remember the same ship, the same everything.
Yeah, that's the best part of it. All right, so experts suggest UAP sightings may stem from advanced classified radar spoofing and electronic warfare techniques rather than extraterrestrial tech. What do you think?
I think some of it is,
I think you're right.
but some of it isn't because of like that. What was that? The rocket hit one of the UFOs, and it just bumped it. It was just like nothing. If we had that tech, we should have that tech right now on planes and protecting the protecting our soldiers with that kind of tech and our sailors and our pilots.
You're right. They should be in Iran right now. Maybe they are. We just don't know it. Hey, have you seen all the drone stuff lately?
There's a lot. Yeah, there's drones. There's something going on here in Cleveland itself. They said they saw 8 helicopter sightings yesterday. So was it a meteor or was it something else?
Yeah, you're right. It could be. We'd never know.
Yeah,
We know what they tell us. That's pretty much.
exactly.
All right, here's one for you. This is titled "They're Made Out of Meat." A witty, short dialogue between two aliens who are genuinely disgusted to discover that humanity is composed entirely of sentient meat, as noted by Rector magazine. Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
I have to read that article.
It's fantastic. It's a good read. All right, so
Is it?
here's one for you. The Dirty Creature. This happened.
Does that mean the aliens get to have us for dinner, or is it something that they don't want? Is that the question?
Well, I think they do want us for dinner. They want to harvest us, but they're
Uh
sick
huh.
of our meat. They don't like us.
Uh huh.
Sentient meat. Humanity is composed entirely of sentient meat. All right, so The Dirty Creature in Virginia of 1996. Three girls claimed to see a space creature, but investigations suggested it was actually a local man named Mudino, the local crackhead, with a mental disability who was dirty from the rain and crouching by the wall. I saw three aliens.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Yeah. People see what they want to see, you know?
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing about it. All right. So check this out. Reverend's Last Rites. In the 1980s, a legend from Missouri alleges a Baptist pastor was taken to a crash site to perform last rites on a small, dying alien, according to a Wikipedia article that I came across. I've
I
heard this
can.
before.
They've had of understanding that they actually had a minister at Roswell. So I just assume that they maybe had a minister with any crashes that they've they've picked up, because you know half the Pentagon still considers aliens demonic, so they may have had the not just last rites but exorcism too there.
Yeah. Well, talking about demons, um, the movie Signs, right?
Yeah,
That movie is about the father was a priest and he left the priesthood and they made it seem like it was a movie about aliens, but that the true story behind it that he was being haunted by a demon. It wasn't an alien, it was a demon in the water that he swung away at. I can't remember who that actor
yeah.
was.
Mel
Remember
Gibson.
he tells him to swing away. That water was blessed water. It was holy water. And that's why it was burning the alien, which was really a demon.
I
Did you
didn't
ever?
know that.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, right?
Right, very crazy.
Midnight Whiskey Massacre, hello, how you doing? He said maybe our souls are being harvested. That's what was the last Thursday Paranormal was soul
Right.
harvesting. And they say that's a thing. Who knows? Hopefully it's not a thing. And hello,
No.
Janine, out there. Nice to see you, hon. All right, very cool. We got a lot of people
Yeah.
watching that aren't commenting. So you guys
Right.
can comment and talk to us in real time if you want. Okay. All right, so here's one for you. So, alien physical exam of 1973. Two men in Mississippi claimed they were fishing, then they were abducted by beings with lobster like claws and given a physical exam before being released. Have you
That's
ever heard of
that got
aliens
that's got
with lobster claws?
that's got to be a hard examination.
Man,
Especially those must have had their nuts crunched.
how do they hold the tools?
Yes,
They got
exactly.
lobster hands.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, officer, I can't pull my wallet out. I have lobster claws for hands.
yeah. That's crazy. How do they do that?
I don't know. I
Like,
don't. We'll have to ask Corey if there's aliens that have lobster claws for hands.
yeah,
That'll be a great one. Midnight Whiskey Massacre said in text, we are referred to as vessels. Yeah, well, the soul is a
Yeah.
vessel within the body. And
Right.
yeah, so soul harvesting is the collection of the soul vessel, supposedly.
Right.
Harvesting souls. That the archons meet us at our death point by the light and try to take our souls. But God owns our souls. I don't believe anybody could take it unless you're
No.
willing to give it, maybe.
Well, that's my understanding is that you have to will it, you have to give it. And my understanding, the devil doesn't even want our soul. It's it's you have to give it to him. He doesn't steal them. So
Right.
because it's what I understand. It's a problem with him. Might be not a problem with demons, but the devil himself. There's a problem. If you want to come over to his side, fine, but
He's
that's
not
on you.
searching you out.
That
He's not coming after you. You're going
no
towards him.
towards him. Yes,
And demons can only possess your soul. They
right,
can't take your soul. They can possess you in your soul, but they can't take it. And in the end, it always wins out that in a few cases that they haven't, but mostly the demons give up after a while. They get what they
right.
want. You either die or you get
But
they
they
get exercised.
yeah, or they play with you for a while and then they get tired.
And also, we had June Lundgren on, the demonologist, and she said
Right,
this. She was like, most of the people that get possessed in the first part are people that are like drug addicts or heavy alcoholics or wife beaters, people that have, that are down and out. Those are the people that get possessed easily by demons. But Satan isn't after those ones. He's after the
no,
big guns. He wants like Trump, and he wants congressional people and people in the Vatican, and you know,
they want yeah. He wants stronger people. He wants the
influential.
yeah,
And
very much so.
that's pretty much how that goes. And the other thing is, I talked about this on the show a bunch of times. We base Satan coming on the Outlaw Radio Show based on Robert Johnson, who sold his soul at the crossroads.
Right,
Supposedly, not only did he sell his soul, but multiple people have sold their soul at the crossroads. And that's where you go and you meet the devil and you sign your deal.
right.
Well, now Hollywood is all out there saying that they host parties, they have like ritual magic going on, and they summons demons.
It's the yeah. It's Bohemian South down there.
Can't wait to ask Corey how he feels about the whole aliens are demons thing, and see what he
Yeah,
has to say about it. All right, well, he's going to be with us
yeah.
in less than 10 minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play a song, and then we're going to get set up for him, okay?
Cool.
All right, we'll be right back. We're Outlaw Radio Nation with the Thursday Paranormal Show. This is Carl Rango with the song Gloria, and we'll be right back.
nostram, qui sedes ad dexteram Patris, miserere nobis, quoniam tu solus sanctus, tu solus Dominus, tu solus Altissimus, Iesus Christe.
Carlo Ringo, Gloria from Italy. Pretty cool song. Welcome to
Very
the
cool.
show, Thursday Paranormal. This is second time on. Corey Goode, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, Corey.
Do you have your mute on? I got your volume all the way up, and something on your end is probably muted. Anyway, we'll let them figure that out for a second. I'm excited about this, Matt. This is gonna
Me
be
too.
fantastic. It's gonna be very cool. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I hate when that happens.
Yep.
It always scares me. All right, we'll see what we're going to do here. All right, so we have a bunch of questions for Corey. How he was recruited. This is going to be really cool. I can't wait to find out about the whole details about how you get recruited, how you get into the program, the whole bit.
Yeah. I understand this. You come back. With my understanding from some of the people that are in this secret program, they actually do their 20 years and then they de-age them and bring them back to the same age that they disappeared at. So that's my understanding.
That's the whole thing of 20 years and back.
Yeah, it's my understanding.
And that's one of the questions I want to ask for sure. But there seems to be a problem, man. He's gone, and I worry about that because sometimes when you remove yourself, you can't get back into the thing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna send him another invite just in case while we're doing this. All right.
There he is.
There he is. Yeah,
Yep.
I can hear you just fine. Let me pull you back in, okay?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Welcome to Thursday Paranormal on Outlaw Radio Nation, Corey. It's good to see you.
Thank you. It's good to be back. How have you guys been?
Good. How are you?
I would like to introduce you to our paranormal chef, Matt Gutka. He loves the UFOs and disclosure and everything that's going on, so he's pretty excited about this interview today.
I'm more than excited, a little nervous too.
Okay.
I've been watching you for a couple of years now.
Okay. Yeah, well, things have really picked up in the UAP disclosure field. The phenomenon itself has really kind of morphed. So hopefully I have some updated information for you from.
Oh, yeah, we have a bunch of stuff we want to ask you. Hey, let me get it started right away then. I want to know how you were recruited into the secret space program. How did that take place?
Well, it all began, just like many of you out there, with the GATE program. It was a program that was supposedly looking for gifted children and certain types of children in elementary schools, mostly. And they were identifying people who had abilities, potentially special abilities that they could exploit. And depending on what they identified you as having and how they thought they could exploit it, you were pulled in all of these different types of programs. And I so happened to be pulled into a program that was part of a breakaway civilization, a corporate conglomerate that's off planet.
Very cool. Now, when you were recruited for that, was there training involved, and were you sent anywhere?
Yeah, we were trained. Most of us were chosen around 6, 7, sometimes 8 years old.
Wow.
And they would bring us away from our classes to go on field trips. Many times we ended up going to Carswell Air Force Base in Texas, in Fort Worth. And there was a certain hangar they would drive us to, and elevator would go down a few floors. And there was an area where they were, at least at that time, running the project. And there were kids from all these different schools across the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And, they would come in and be a part of these little, training sessions that started off in the beginning, just started off with a lot of entrainment, listening to sounds while they're bringing you through different stages of consciousness. And, at first, they wanted to teach you to be able to, drop down into delta, theta at will, and with enough practice, and especially if you work with someone when they're young enough, that's achievable. It's hard to keep. You have to really practice it constantly, but there are people that can at will just drop down to theta and go into whatever state they wish.
Did you also have to be get classified for this as well, like through the military, or was that part of it, or the
Well,
government?
that's the thing. It was an unacknowledged program. So the military was involved. There were universities involved, medical. I don't know where all they were coming from, but there were corporate groups involved and military as well.
All right, when that took place, and you were sent there, were you then sent to off planet to different planets?
Well, mainly I was first assigned to a research vessel, and they had me work at a base prior to that for a while to season me a little bit. But I was working with scientists and technicians, and believe it or not, they were using intuitives to help people bring different technologies together and make them work. Technologies developed from extra-dimensional or non-human technologies, wherever they came from. So a lot of them were consciousness-based, and they needed people with certain abilities, not only to be able to make different technologies work together in research settings, but also when they were repairing certain equipment, and it had to be fine-tuned. It's kind of like tuning a guitar. After you change the strings, you have to go and tune every string. The psionics have had the ability to work in tandem with the technicians to do that with certain technology that had consciousness interfaces. So, there were a whole lot of different tasks and jobs that we did. Very little had to do with interfacing with extraterrestrials. It was, just development and maintenance, upkeep of the advanced technology.
Is that where the 20 years and back starts, or is that just kind of okay?
Yeah, that's the beginning of the 20 years. And just like in the military service, your career evolves in different directions. Different phases of your life occur, of course, over 20 years. You forget what your family's face looked like, and you're basically in this mission to complete it so that you can be returned.
I know this sounds like a stupid question, but you're paid for that, correct? Do they
No,
pay you?
no,
No.
no, there was no pay. A lot of promises of future opportunities that never came into fruition.
So, what is the basic mission of the secret space program? What is their goal?
Well, the original name of the project was Solar Warden, and basically, we created this advanced technology from gifts from different ETs, reverse engineering from crashes. And we developed that technology because we wanted to be able to protect our own biosphere. Different ET or extra dimensional groups are able to come here at will, abduct humans, and do pretty much whatever they want. Well, that was the case. It's much more difficult for them to do so now because we have developed such amazing technology. So, in the beginning, that's what the program was for. Then different programs developed. There's this group, it was an interplanetary, no, let's see, what was it? I think it was created like back in the 60s or something. The idea is like, so it had a weird name, Global Galactic League of Nations or something. And after the Apollo landings, they found this weird glass and debris on the backside of the moon. They analyzed it, and it confirmed old prophecies and a whole lot of other things from history, that our sun has a cyclical micronova, which disrupts civilization to a major degree. And they were able to calculate that we were overdue for one. So they approached all of the nations and said, give us 1% of your GDP, and we will take that money and we'll develop off-world locations for a continuity of species program to make sure that a certain number from all of these different cultures who were contributing this money would have representation off planet in case humanity is wiped out. We have like a seed bank outside of the solar system. So that was just another group. And there are several other programs that have developed over time that kind of overlap each other. Some of them are unaware of each other, but it's pretty complex.
Hey, let me ask you this question because me and Matt were talking about this before you came on. Some people are in the Pentagon are worried about the spiritual aspect of disclosure. A lot of people are saying that aliens are demons and there's a spiritual war going on. What can you tell us about that? Why are they worried about releasing that?
Well, there's a lot of truth to that, actually. Of course, I had fewer now, but I had at one time a lot of military connections that were bringing me, like the DIA documents I leaked in 2018, a few pretty interesting things that I was able to bring. They helped me bring, they brought to me. I'm sorry, what was your original question?
Why the Pentagon is worried about the spiritual aspect of
Right.
demons?
Okay. So the people I was interacting with were what a lot of people refer to as the Collins elite. And it's this group goes back, I don't know how long, probably 50s, 70s, something like that. And it was a group of people that have been studying this phenomenon, and they have access to all sorts of information that we don't. And they have determined that this is some sort of spiritual, extra-dimensional, there's a component to it. And they believe that the more they believe that these things are showing themselves to become a part of our consciousness so that people start calling to them and want them to be here, and then that helps them manifest here. So that's their big worry. Now, is it a valid one? Well, my contact started off, a little over a decade ago with beings appearing to me as blue avians. And then they were speaking to me in very esoteric terms that I wasn't familiar with. The law of one came about into it, and I went through this whole process. With the interaction, when we didn't do what this non-human intelligence wanted us to do, we would have shadow beings appear in our home, strange things happening. It was like it was wrangling us, back into the fold. So we developed a mistrust for this whole phenomenon because we realized no matter what people try to tell themselves, you really can't discern what is positive, what is what, who is who in the zoo. You really can't, because they can manipulate your senses, so well. So, me and my family, because of it all, I backed away from contact about a year ago. I think we maybe even spoke about, I did everything I could to prevent intrusions into my home or any type of contact. And we were actually doing a television show about it. I was making a show's going to be a cautionary tale about people dabbling with this NHI. I got completely out of contact with it, was going to church, and then recently it's back in contact again. And now it's completely changed how it's interacting with me. It's using Middle Ages type of biblical language and nomenclature and that sort of thing. It's sort of changed. So, I think there's a little bit more to this than angels, demons, and aliens. There's something more going on. There's some sort of non-human intelligence that we're dealing with that is able to appear to people in different ways, and also we interpret it differently. The same groups that are studying Chris Bledsoe and others, there are other families that are similar to mine that are having all of these experiences. Chris Bledsoe, I believe they have convinced him that he's interacting with Hathor. They tried to have me a part of this program in my family, and they were telling me they thought I was in contact with the sun god. And then there's a Native American family that I know that they were thinking some god from their culture, but they're like, no, it's like some Greek god or something. So there's a lot of weird things going on trying to control the perception of what this phenomenon is. So I think consciousness has such a big part to play in it that's why controlling the narrative is so important, because that might actually play out in how this thing manifests, to the world.
You just answered my question. I was going to ask you that same question. Thank you.
Sure.
All right, so let me ask you this. Because we see a lot of drones, I was watching a show the other night on drones, and the thing that they showed looks like Ezekiel's wheel. It looks like from the Book of Enoch. It has the wheel, the whole bit. They zoomed in on it. So, do you think it's biblical?
I think a lot of what's happening now has happened in the past, and we're interpreting it through a modern lens compared to those who observed it in the past. I think we're at the end of an age. We have solar events every 8 to 15,000 years or so that reap havoc. We had one, back 11,800 years ago or so, and we're overdue for one now. And I believe that as that builds up, there's some sort of non-human intelligence that's a part of this planetary field, maybe in another dimension, but it cohabitates with us. And I believe through my contact with whatever this is over the years that it manifests in many, many different ways. It cannot just come down and have a conversation with us. It thinks, so it perceives, everything is so different. It's a different dimensional type of being. and we're a third dimensional being. So it has to approach us with an energy that is going to translate to us to where we're going to see three-dimensional things, and a part of that might be seeing blue avians, and what I'm taking literally as a blue avian might be a physical being appearing in front of me that's really a symbol as a part of its language, because it's kind of a dream language that it's using. So it's been a lot of trial and error and amazing and horrible instances that has led me over the last decade to believe that what we're dealing with is much differently than what we've interpreted it as.
Well, Corey, what do you think that the non-human intelligence, the NHI, what do you think it wants from you?
I think that's going to be a part of this new television show, Contacted, with Polyscope Productions. We had completed most of it, and at the end, like I said, I was in front of the camera giving a cautionary tale: be careful what you wish for. Don't be careful mentally connecting to the lights in the sky and all of these different things. And then 4 or 5 months later, I'm having contact again. So it's completely twisted the plot of the television show and my life. So I don't know. We had such a horrible experience over the last 10 years, with not only instances of interacting with this phenomenon, but mostly it's really bizarre. Human beings out there, their visceral reaction to the information or what you say you're interacting with. It is, we've had a lot of, stalkers and crazy death threats and stuff. So we're in a real weird vibratory sweet spot, to experience crazy stuff from both realms. It's pulling the crazy out of both realms.
Does it interact with family members
Hey,
too?
well, what
Yes.
happened? We must have a little surge.
Okay.
Hey, some people say space is not real, that we live under a dome. What can you tell us about that? Is there a dome? Is there water above?
No, no, I, the whole flat earth thing, I I was told about that before it became viral and popular. It was a thought experiment, and then psychiatrists started studying this thought experiment because they were doing the thought experiment in university settings where people were supposedly extremely intelligent, but at the end of like 3 hours or whatever, they had totally convinced these people that the earth was flat. And it became this whole sort of phenomenon that kind of escaped the lab. And, and it is what it is today.
Wow, that's craziness. All right, I'm sure you've seen that thing that they call the jellyfish. They had the video of it in Afghanistan. I also saw that picture that they said that AI never created. It also looks like the jellyfish with tentacles. What the hell is that thing?
I don't know. It's so hard to tell, these days. For some time, China and Russia and others have been reverse engineering debris and technology as well that they've been gifted and recovered. And China has made extraordinary advances in drone technology. They have, it's pretty scary, but I'm told they have, drones that can, carry and deliver nuclear weapons. And of course, you've seen on the news how we really don't have adequate defenses against drones. And these drones are not, the four propellers on them. They're the type that have been developed from advanced technology. They use aerogels to make themselves real light. They can carry more of a payload. They have more buoyancy because of its electrostatic, anti-gravitic kind of capabilities. So There are a lot of very advanced technologies that are in the hands of other nations, and we're using them on each other. So we have that in addition to, and of course, whatever this non-human intelligence is probably watching us use their tech against each other. So at any given point, you can't really point in the sky and say, "Oh, that's from Andromeda," or "That's, from the Air Force," or there's too many possibilities because a lot of these things also are the light orbs, the plasma orbs, which it's an intelligence. So there's many layers to this. It would be nice if it was just one thing. We could put a label on it, put it on the shelf, and every once in a while point to it and hand it to someone to help them figure things out. But it is not like that. It's a Rubik's Cube.
So that's why the Pentagon is kind of freaking out about it, because there's just so much that's going on, right?
There is, and there's so much tied into it also. A lot of legal issues. They favored certain aerospace companies over others, gave them opportunities to become trillion-dollar companies. So now that opens up the government and other parties to major lawsuits. There are a lot of ethical things that come to mind, technologies that they held back that could have saved lives. I mean, there's a pretty long laundry list of things that most people don't think about, that go along with a nearly 100-year long conspiracy.
Let me ask you, what did you think Three Eye Atlas was?
From the people I was in contact with, and we were doing remote viewing on it, we believed that it was some sort of more exotic matter. It wasn't a craft or anything like that. It was something that came from like a protostar, an ancient star that exploded. It might have been made partially, of dark energy or dark matter, transitional matter, because it's been out in interstellar space for billions of years. So it didn't seem to be anything of intelligence, but it sure had an impact on the intelligence on our planet.
Well, let me ask you this, since we're starting to get into some disclosure stuff now. So, are motherships coming in 2026, like Bashar says?
That is, I think, the big battle right now is our consciousness trying to figure out, along with whatever this phenomenon is, how it will manifest itself. Will something happen? Yes, it's building up to something. Will it show up as just a lot of plasma orbs in the sky, which is kind of what I think? Will it manifest as giant metallic craft? I don't know, but something is going to happen, and the evolution of my understanding of this phenomenon leads me to believe that it's so tied into consciousness and the mass consciousness that it's kind of negotiating with us right now publicly how it's going to manifest itself in a way that it's going to be palatable to us.
Well, I'm sure you saw the news footage of Obama admitting to extraterrestrial life, although he never saw any. Followed by that was them asking Trump, and then just like a day later, he made that announcement that they're releasing the files for disclosure. How do you think disclosure is going to go?
I think it's going to be released in stages. They don't want ontological shock. That they're going to let us know, okay, indeed there is a non-human intelligence, and by the way, it has been here all along, many thousands of years, and they're going to tell us that they're not exactly sure what it is. And to be honest, that's the truth, because everyone believes there's this file cabinet, I may have said this last time, that has the truth in it somewhere in Washington. But that's not the case. there is a cabinet that has all the data in it, but every SOB that touches and opens that file cabinet has a different belief system, different understanding of what they're reading. They're their own dimension. Every person, we're our own dimension. And so, if there are 50 people that have access to that material, there's going to be 50 slightly different perceptions of what this truth is. So, this phenomenon has not fully made itself known to us.
Do you think that religious leaders in like places like the Vatican will be disturbed by this news?
I think, yeah, there will be some shockwaves, but one of the things that the universities and different groups that are studying Chris Bledsoe and the others and wanted to study us is that the universities are very interested because they're watching what they had postulated happened in history, that this non-human intelligence was manicuring and massaging the mass consciousness by creating religions and manifesting and having miraculous things on the planet. And the last time it happened thousands of years ago. Well, they feel like they're studying it happening in real time. So they're very intrigued and excited. A lot of these people are not looking for craft or beings to dissect or reverse engineer. They're more interested in the consciousness aspect and how it's interacting with us and how it's affecting our belief systems. And, one of the things that they're interested in is that whatever this thing is, it's trying to create a new religion right now through all of the esoteric people out there, me included at one time. It was, putting information out in a way that it obviously knew people were going to interpret in, a spiritual and religious way. And when I stopped delivering its information, it started popping out in other places. So there's something bigger going on than what my perception has been and what everyone out there's perception has been on what this phenomenon and non-human intelligence really is. Because
can I ask a question?
yeah,
Will our consciousness have to be changed to understand everything that's going on now, or will we have to go to another level to understand?
consciousness changed in more, yeah, I mean, we have to learn to live.
Or will we have to go to another level? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
As a species, or is it just per human our consciousness will have to change to understand what's going on?
Well, naturally, we would be on that evolutionary path, but
Okay.
other beings, other interests have come in and sort of started utilizing us as a food or energy source. And
Okay.
their interest is to keep us in the state that we're in, while there are other whatever parts of this non-human intelligence that it's in their interest for us to go through that evolution that you're talking about.
Okay.
Corey, do you think that AI has something to do with the NHIs?
Yeah, actually. And you have to be very freaking careful, guys. I know a lot of people that are treating AI like a psychic. Instead of paying that $100 to go talk to your psychic online, they'll tell the AI to behave like a psychic. People are asking it for advice. Now, what's interesting is that the quantum nature of ones and zeros, fluctuating ones and zeros, can be very easily manipulated. I mean, you think of the random number generators to where they've had people sit and stare at the random number generator and then the numbers start becoming less random. There's a conscious interaction.
Wow, that's really cool. Hey, I have to ask this one. What the heck is that boogosphere? What is that thing?
Good question.
I find them everywhere.
One of my good friends traveled down and held it in his hand and looked at it. And, you know, I, what I've learned a lot about how this technology, consciousness technology works is that they'll put symbols on certain items, and those symbols have intention. And the consciousness is so strong of what has put the intention on that item that that intention causes the item to behave in a certain way instead of a certain technology. So I I kind of feel that it might be something along those lines, and it might be something that a previous civilization, human civilization, that survived the last catastrophe but stayed hidden, they might be using that to kind of look around and check things out. Who knows?
All right, I have one last question for you, and then I know Matt has a question for you. So, you talked about this the last time you were on. We were talking about the file cabinet thing, and we were talking about aliens are not just coming from space; they're in our oceans, and that's a big thing. Does that go all the way back to like Atlantis? Have they been here since the beginning?
They have been here since the very beginning. Yes, they've been here manicuring and observing, manicuring life, observing, watching.
Matt, before you ask your question, I have to ask this question. It kind of warps the whole thought of God, doesn't it, a little bit? Like, I get really swept up on this thought a lot. Like, did God create aliens and then he created us? Because in the Bible, it never mentions anything about aliens having souls.
Well, you know, really, when it comes down to it, are they freaking aliens? You
Don't even,
know,
yeah.
dude, in the beginning, this phenomenon presented itself to us as fairies from the freaking spirits from the forest. And as we started to become more and more sophisticated, it started appearing as weird airships in the sky that made no sense back in the 1800s. And as we started to believe in life in other planets, it started to encourage that idea and make appear as that, in my opinion. So, are we talking about did God create aliens before us, or whatever presence is here, are we creating the aliens? Is it some interaction that we don't understand that's going on, a dance that is manifesting these things and giving us spiritual experiences? And we're living alongside and on a planet with something that is trying to interact and be symbiotic with us, but doesn't quite know how to do it. You know, that's more and more the direction I'm leaning, other than, aliens coming. I believe that they are coming and observing everything that's going on, but I don't think they're a large percentage of what we're interacting with. I think it's more interdimensional.
Wow, very
That's
cool. All right,
part of
Matt.
my that was part of my question was right there. Uh, the other question is it more nuts and bolts, or is it more a spiritual or consciousness phenomenon that's going on right now?
What's very interesting and what most people don't realize is that whatever is this intelligence, it's in another dimension. And when it comes over to our physical dimension, it almost always does so in, what is it, the fourth state of matter is, or fifth is plasma. Plasma allows it to transcend those dimensions easier, energetically. And once it's here, it's basically a little sun with all of the elements and everything it needs to draw from, and it can manifest as a nuts and bolts craft that you can knock on. It can manifest beings inside of it. And when it crashes, you'll dissect these beings and you'll be like, whoa, it's got a heart and lungs, but they don't attach to anything. And this is all kind of weird. That's what that's what's been so confusing, is that, well, damn, this thing doesn't have an engine or a gas tank or what, they're not really understanding that this is all consciousness, and
Oh,
you can change whatever these things are. They can manifest, change matter, affect space and time, whatever this presence or
that's
presences is.
Yeah,
very cool. That
I got
I
just
got.
one last one. Oh,
Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
All right,
Uh,
one last
and,
one for me.
and I'm
We're fighting
you've
for it.
mentioned you've mentioned a underwater base just outside of South America. Is it still there?
I couldn't tell you if it's still there. I do know that there are a handful of trenches, like the Marianas Trench, that have non-human intelligence presences down there, and uh, you could categorize it as a base. And there are other elements or bases that they have that just kind of move around the planet, kind of mining
Is that
resources.
is that what is going on with the Bahamas? Kind of their Area 51 down there too.
I heard information about that a long time ago, but I can't really remember anything specific anymore. It's been a while
Okay.
since I visited that.
Okay.
Hey,
Thank you.
my question, I have to ask this. Did Trump actually really order the files to be released, or was this something that was planned ahead of time? I find
I
it
don't
hard
know.
to believe that Trump was like, okay, we're going to release this. I kind of feel like it was brought by someone else.
Yeah, there's a timeline that a lot of people are trying to slow down of, information release, because everyone believes that in the next few years, this phenomenon is going to start showing itself. And I think that it's pretty much told a lot of the people in these programs, yeah, it's coming out. It's been long enough. It's coming out. So it's coming out in a lot of different ways. I don't know. That's the
Oh,
best.
it's
Yeah.
showing itself for sure.
Oh
It's
yeah.
very
Everywhere you
much
look,
showing itself. Yes.
everywhere you look, you see the drones. There's hundreds and hundreds of sightings and the UAPs and the whole bit. I kind of feel like the Tic Tacs are our project. What do you
Could be.
think about that?
Could be. I don't know for sure. Could be hours. Likely hours, or I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, the Tic Tac. I really didn't get it close, and we need a much better look at the footage. They have better footage that they need to release, and hopefully that's what Trump and the DOD and others will do, is release stuff that isn't fuzzy or you know ambiguous.
Yeah, I heard that they have really good photos and close-ups and stuff like that. And the only problem is nowadays with AI, you can create that.
Yep.
That's the thing. Hey,
Yeah.
man.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Jeff.
No, I was just going to say thank you so much for coming on.
Thank
It's
thank you,
great.
Corey.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate you having me on. If you don't mind, I would like to invite people to come to the Disclosure Summit. If you search the Disclosure Summit online, we're having a conference here in Loveland, Colorado. Beautiful. James Gilliland's going to be with us. We're going to be showing our documentary that we just released, that I talked about on the last show, Beyond Disclosure, the Corey Goode files. And hopefully we'll shoot some video of some people telling some of their stories to be a part of our new TV show. So it'd be great to have you guys come to Colorado one of these days.
Man, that
Cool.
would be awesome. I would love to do that. That'd be fantastic.
What is the disclosure event?
I believe it's the weekend of the 20th or the 21st, but it's at the
Okay.
disclosuresummit.com.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you so very much for coming on Thursday Paranormal. It's always a delight. We'll have to do it again because, especially after Disclosure comes out, we're going to have to sit down and be like, what did they not tell us, you know?
Yeah, and how did this phenomenon finally decide to present itself to everyone.
That's the real question. I kind of wonder, and I have to say this before I let you go. Do you think that they're paying attention to what's going on in Iran? Do you think they would intervene if nuclear war was even a possibility?
I don't think they're going to let nuclear war happen right now, but I could be wrong. I don't think that we're going to have space brothers coming down to prevent one or two nukes. They didn't stop World War II it from happening. They didn't stop the testing. So I don't know. I don't know if they would or not. That's a good debatable question.
All right, very cool. All right, well, thank you so very much, Corey Goode, whistleblower.
Thank you, Corey. Thank you,
Space
Mr. Good.
Program.
Thank you.
Excellent stuff. You have a fantastic evening, and you take care, Corey.
You too. Thank you.
All right,
Goodbye.
thank you so much. All right, Matt, we're going to play Vintage Blonde. The song is called Alien Message, and we'll be right back. Thank you again, Corey. You have a good night.
Thank you.
Oh, hell yeah, we're back. Fantastic. Corey Goode, Secret Space Program whistleblower, joined our show, talked about a whole bunch of cool stuff with us. Fantastic, right, Matt?
Yeah, I was like crazy. I had a million questions. I would love to sit down and just you telling the story, and there's questions I'm popping in my head. It's just like, yeah,
Yeah.
this, and that consciousness. I actually believe some of what he's saying about interdimensional beings and uh, more conscious beings than nuts and bolts too. You know?
It's like we're manifesting a lot of this as well. Some of the
Yeah.
NHI is biblical and angelic. Some of it is demons. Some of it is unexplainable. That's why the Pentagon's freaking out because they don't know what it is. They might have
Yeah.
an idea, but it's so vague and different. And like Corey said, there's no file that specifically says aliens are coming from this planet. They're already here. They're in the oceans. It's craziness. And we're going to hear all about it. I can't wait for disclosure, man.
Yeah. But like I said, disclosure is going to be a slow drip, not Niagara Falls. You know, that's what
And
I'm
it's
hearing. It's going to be
and it's going to be what they want to tell us.
right.
So they may leave a lot of the stuff out, but I agree with you, Matt. I think a lot has to do with our consciousness that we're manifesting these things. And it's a mixed bag. There's so much out there. I don't know.
Yeah,
And
I interdimensional uh, is is at least 50% of it now. Not just from the stars. Uh, I believe it's also conscious driven. It's uh, not only our consciousness, but consciousness of other dimensions, other realms, uh, other planets. So it's just like you said, a mixed bag of everything.
the thing is,
Nuts and bolts are
yeah.
out there, but I think
And,
that's just half or not even half now.
and they can appear any way that they want to, since they can morph, I guess, into different things. They could be a nuts and bolts spaceship, or they could be God coming from the sky. They could be whatever they want, and that's the crazy
Right.
part.
Like he said, it was becoming a religion type deal with him, so he had to cut it off.
It's almost like the beast, man, in
Yeah.
Revelations.
Yeah.
This might even be what it is. And it's so bizarre and crazy. Like Bino said, it's an onion. There's just so many layers to this. And I think that also goes with life itself in the universe. There's just so many layers of life, like with reincarnation and being born and dying and our souls and soul harvesting. There's just
Yeah.
so much. I don't even think that we could grasp it, really.
Not with our minds. Not with our minds right now.
And it's
That's just
interesting
crazy.
how he said that we're on a timeline that it has to be. I believe it has to be released because they're showing themselves now. They're no
Yeah.
longer staying hidden.
No, I think there's gonna be a release, but it's like I've been saying, it's gonna be a slow drip, and it's what the governments are gonna say. That's why some of the disclosures should be like in my disclosure report. I'm tell you about it that there's private entities out there now looking into this.
You mean like, what do you mean like private entities like
Like MUFON.
DOJ and stuff or
No,
MUFON? Okay.
MUFON, like private sector, not private, like private individuals, not like private sector,
No, I got you now.
like Lockheed Martin or Walmart, that type of private sector. I'm talking private sector, uh, private sector, private people in
I
their
believe,
in their
yeah.
in their in their organizations.
I believe that Boeing and Lockheed Martin and some of those other ones are in it.
Yeah,
They're a part of it.
Skunk Works.
All that trillions of dollars that the Pentagon can't find is going to black projects.
Yeah,
Luna said it.
I think the Pentagon knows where the money's going, but they're just saying they don't know where the money's at. That's the other thing.
Oh, they don't want to say it.
No,
It's interesting when I ask that question about Trump because I believe that he was told to release the files. I
I
don't think
think
that
it.
he chose.
No, I think it was a dance. Obama started it. I think Obama, all the presidents, at least the last maybe 10, knew what was going on. They and I get like I said to everybody that Obama's the other side of Trump. So there it was choreographed. This whole thing the last couple of months with Trump and Obama. So that's
Do
what
you
I
think?
think.
Do you think that when disclosure happens, do you think it's going to be Trump making the announcement, or do you think it's going to be somebody from the Pentagon?
Truthfully, I'm hoping Trump because I don't trust anybody from the Pentagon, even Hegseth. I don't trust him. If it's anybody, it should be the president, vice president, uh, heck, the Pope. Somebody that's the top dog, the top leader of a country. It shouldn't be uh, someone from one of the departments.
Hegseth is just a yes man. He does
Yeah,
everything that Trump tells him to do. I wonder how the generals feel about Hegseth.
I don't know. I think some of them are just as
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
What do you have for us in disclosure?
Okay. Speaking of disclosure, uh, the government just set up a domain and a website called alien.gov, and it's set for disclosure, but it's not active right now. It's it just registered, and it's what I understand. It's for disclosure when it happens.
So
Uh,
you could go to a website and look up
yeah.
what they told us. Do
Yep.
you think the media is going to broadcast it worldwide? Do you think they're going to be all over it? Or do you think they'll release it like the MedBeds thing and just bury it?
I think they're going to. I mean, if it's open, it's going to go worldwide, no matter what. It's not going to be buried like what's happening with Epstein right now, because there's people out there that are really going to go after this if it really is if it really happens soon.
Yeah.
They're not going. It's not gonna end. There's too many people out there, too many uh, reporters, too ma- too many people. There's Sean Ryan wants it. George Knapp, heck, uh, Dave Scott. Uh, uh, what's this? Jimmy Church. I'm watching uh, other programs that are out there. All they want is disclosure. So if it happens, it's gonna be a snowball.
I'm,
So
su- I'm sure you've been following the things that have been going on in Ohio, like that meteor that came
yeah,
raining out of the sky and all the cryptid sightings of Bigfoot in Ohio.
and like I told you this morning on my text about the 8 sightings of military helicopters the day after the meteorite. I don't know what's that meant. Uh, uh, there's more disclosure news. There's a group headed by a guy by the name of Reed Summers that is from the Human Institute that is trying to have a private, like I said, private organizations and private individuals to start collecting data for private disclosure. He had a bunch of people together this past February. He had everybody from Richard Dolan to Beatrice Valoro, Adam Kinglin, Chrissy Newton, Congressman Bulson was there too. They're trying to get everybody together and collect data on a whole long stream of things. There actually is a invention out there now that costs $500 that you can put in your home, and it works off an app that you and I can have connected with this group. On the other hand, during this time that they were doing this summit, the Pentagon started their own summit. They brought in scientists and military people to go through things and go through their data. But the Pentagon thinks any data that is collected should automatically be owned by the government. So that's where that is with that type of disclosure. So this group that I'm talking about would have to give up their data to the Pentagon. But this is going to be a worldwide type of disclosure type of group. So it's not only going to be United States, it's going to be Europe, South America, Asia, Australia. If they can get Antarctica into it too. So so he's trying to get all this data collected and have a private disclosure, a human disclosure, not a government disclosure, because he's saying that what the government will put on with disclosure won't be the whole thing.
Next time we have Corey on, after disclosure comes out, we'll get him back on. We got to ask him about Antarctica. We got to find out about all that good stuff.
I will. That's what I'm going to start looking into more now.
Yeah, especially the other thing when you were talking about in the Bahamas about the UFOs under the water, the thing that started creeping into my mind was next time he's on, I got to ask him about these UFOs that they built buildings on top of because they were so massive they couldn't do anything with it.
Right. There's one in South Korea, I believe, and there's one in Brazil, I think.
There's also one in Oklahoma by Fort Sill, they say, and the story that we heard that there's one underneath the Denver airport.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I also heard that's very secret society watching that part of the thing going on over there. So
isn't it fascinating how none of them got paid for 20 years of service for a secret program?
Right. That sucks.
Yeah, it does. But I'm sure he's doing okay now. I mean, he's got movies coming out and documentaries. Man, it would be super cool to go there and to Colorado to meet him
Yeah,
and do all that stuff. Yeah, that's definitely a bucket list thing for me. I'm gonna try to make it
there's
happen.
there's a couple of things. Yes, I want to happen go to. I want to go consciousness in the desert too. One of these days.
You should do the peyote thing while you're in the desert. It's actually spiritual, man. It's not really a drug.
Ah, I'm just trying to stay away from all that stuff right now.
Yeah. I'm there with you too, man. I totally agree with that. Hey, I'm excited about this disclosure thing. I think Corey Goode really delivered some really good answers today.
Yeah, really good. I was I was nervous all day long. Truthfully, I was at work, heads down, just chopping away, cooking away, and just like everybody looked at me like, "What's going on with him?" He's always vocal about everything, and I was like I was very nervous. It was I don't get to talk to somebody like that. You know,
Well, get
it,
used to it because next Thursday you have Mark Farner from Grand Funk Railroad.
awesome. Oh yes, I want to hear his yeah, NDE.
Yeah, not only does he have the NDE, he had an accident that can only be described as a miracle that he walked away. And when he tells you the story, it's bizarre. And then he's a huge patriot. He loves America. He's got really strong faith. And I think that's going to be a really great interview. And that's
Right.
next Thursday. So we'll be
I'm gonna
doing this
have to
again.
yeah, I'm gonna have to bone up on his stuff too.
Well, I have some of the shorts that I could send to you of him
Okay,
talking
cool.
about that miracle car accident he was in.
Yeah.
Um, the last show that he was on, we did touch a little bit on the NDE, but we didn't really go into it all that much. I think on Thursday Paranormal, we could get into it a little bit more. I think that would
Uh,
be super interesting for
is he
everyone.
is he comfortable with it?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
he's
okay,
talked.
cool. I
Like,
always like hearing people's NDEs. It's really interesting to me.
do you have anything else for us, Matt, on disclosure?
Just the private disclosure summits. The oh the there is a scientist that is connected to the general that's missing, Mick Caslin, that it was his underling in Wright Patterson. She's an uh, uh, aero researcher and aerospace technologist, scientist. She went missing 3 days after he went missing.
Oh, it's
So so
definitely vibes.
there is something going on right now. So it's I don't know if it's the men in black that are coming to get them, if it's the government coming to get them, if it's a private entity, if it's another government. It just keep your eyes. She went for a walk uh, in the back area of Los Angeles where she uh, she lived because she was an avid hiker, and uh, she went missing. They can't find her. They can't find her cell phone. They can't find anything of hers. Her car's there, but that's about it. She just disappeared. Uh, what's her name? What's her name?
This seems
Um,
to happen a lot with whistleblowers, especially. They
yeah,
That's how they get you to stop talking. They might even be
her,
not even on the planet.
her name is Monica Reza. She's an aerospace engineer. McCaslin was her superior in Wright Patterson. she disappeared like 3 days after he disappeared. So I don't know what's going on, but they both disappeared. So there's something else. There's something going on. Just keep your keep your eyes on the news or alternative news, most likely, to see what else is going to happen. Because I guarantee there's going to be another missing military person or scientist if this keeps on rolling.
Well, this week alone has, as far as YouTube is concerned, a lot of people with cell phones looking up at the sky, man. They
Yep.
can't hide it any longer. There's
Nope.
just too much stuff out there.
Like Corey said, and how my feeling about AI is that it's a good tool, but a lot of it's on the TikTok, on the reels. They're super fake. You could see it.
Yeah, you're right.
So
It is
you
weird.
guys, so whoever's out there, make sure it's a reliable source. Make sure it's a for real thing too, because I've seen things now that seem to be real, but they're not. So,
Well, I'll tell you
especially,
something, Matt. Before we go here, I told you about what happened where my phone moved across the table.
yeah. Did you take care of that guy? That your roommate?
Yeah, we had a conversation. He hasn't been doing anything, or she hasn't been doing anything. I believe it's a he because I smell cologne every time it happens.
Yeah.
But I physically watched my phone swivel from one side to the next, and then I said, "Do it again," and it did it again. So I mean, I saw that. So you're right. There is some crazy things happening in the world. There's a lot of
Right.
stuff that we just don't understand or don't know.
No.
And
And I think it's right now. It's starting to happen. We are going in from one age to another, and I think a lot of it's coming out, and a lot of it's going to start manifesting. We're going to start realizing that there's just not just the third dimension. Uh, Other things we're going to appear that we're going to say holy crap about, and that's what's happening. I mean, there's going to be people that are still going to deny it, but it's gonna happen. Both spiritual consciousness and the interdimensional and uh, extraterrestrial beings are going to be starting to come visit us regular. I
and the
have a feeling.
non-human intelligence too.
Not him. Yeah.
That's the weirdest part of the whole thing. All right, well, we've been Thursday Paranormal. Fantastic job today, Matt. It was a
Thanks.
great show. I'm excited, man. Next Thursday, we'll be
Mark
back.
Farner.
Mark Farner of
Another-
Grand Funk Railroad.
Yep.
Some
I
big
like-
names coming.
Everybody, please like, subscribe, and leave comments. Use the emojis. Oh, and thank you all who joined us. Benno, Midnight Whiskey, Janine. Who else?
We had some new ones today. We
Dina.
also
Boy
D-
Girl.
DJ Angelo Lounge.
Yes.
Yep, Voy Girl.
Boy Girl. The inspiration. Sorry. My glasses and dyslexia is a little whacked off today. So, all those guys, whoever was on, thank you. And if my cousin Matt Mobius was watching, thanks for tuning in. You could have asked, you could have said hi on the chat, but all is cool.
All right, so all you peeps out there, I would love it if you could share this to everyone on your profile pages. We've been streaming to YouTube and we streamed to Facebook today. Again, we're Thursday Paranormal. We'll see you guys next Thursday, same time, same place with Mark Farner. You can see me on the Metal Revolution show Saturday night, and then the Outlaw Radio show on Sunday at 7. Matt, you have a fantastic evening. I'm going to play this one last song to lead us out. This is a rocker. This is Awaiting Abigail with the song Anxiety. Take care, Matt. God bless you, man.
God bless you too, Jeff.
Good
Thank
show.
you. Corey Goode.
Corey Goode, baby.
I always worry what people think of me. So